Hi everybody. I was working on my February challenge and I wanted to have a gel printed background. Well, that led to a tiny little gel printing session and I thought I would share that with you. The gel plate already had some print left on it from a previous session, and I really liked what was on there, so I wanted to pull that before I got to the background that I wanted for the February challenge. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm just adding some portrait pink and bright aqua green paint to the gel plate, and I'm going to pull that print. And I decided to pull it on one of the pages that'll be in my February challenge album. I have no idea what day it's going to fall on, so hopefully it works out. But I didn't want to waste the print. I know I could have printed it on a plain piece of paper, but I had a feeling it was going to be a really nice print by what was left on the plate. So I thought if I put it in the album, then it would definitely get used and not just put aside for a later use that never happens. So when I'm pulling something that's already on the gel plate, I like to make sure there's enough paint on the plate that it covers everything. But you don't want it too thick. That is how I have good results. And I got some pretty nice prints from this session. And I love this color combo and the grunge of the print that I pulled. I love that. Now you see the paint is already dry and I couldn't pull any on that tab. So I had a little bit of paint left on my roller. So I'm just trying to get that paint wet again so I can pull it. And it worked a little bit. There wasn't quite enough paint on my roller. Love that grunge. Now, as you can see, there is still plenty of beautiful stuff left on that gel print. There's, like, you can see the pattern from some other play session I had. And now we also have the bright aqua green and the pink from pulling that print. So I'm letting that dry before I pull it. So I'm just grabbing some white, well, it'll be titanium white or something like that. And then I'm also adding some unbleached titanium because I didn't want it stark white, but I also didn't want it completely ivory. So I thought that was a good compromise. Because I didn't want a color that would compete. I knew what was left on the gel plate was light, and I wanted that to be more of the focus on the print I pulled. I'm just taking some scrap paper. Even though I probably should have a plain sheet of paper because this print, I'm pretty sure this is the one that I loved. But I can still use it as long as it's like glued down to something. Yes, this is the one I love. Like, I don't know what you look for in gel prints, but this is like everything I look for. I just love it. Love it, love it. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but I love this print. And I also want to point out that this is done in real time. I have not sped up this video. So, you know, sometimes people ask, how long did you leave it on the gel plate for? Well, this is in real time, so you'll be able to see. Now, the plate is now clean, pretty much for what will get pulled. There's just a little bit around the outer edge, but I mean, any paper I use doesn't usually reach that far anyway, so I'm calling it a clean plate. So now I don't want, like, the print that I want for my February challenge page. I have a general idea in my head what I want, and I want it to be grungy. So now I need to like get the plate a bit grungy and have some stuff going on. Now I know I could have pulled it the first one because there was stuff going on, but I knew there was a lot of pattern on it, and I didn't want that pattern mixed with the pull that I wanted for the challenge. So that is why I didn't use it initially. So now I'm just working on getting the plate to where I want it, where I should get some grunge in my final print. So these are just whatever pulls now. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I want to add something to the background, but I can't figure out what. So this is just one of those, I think they're called a canvas. It's for, not needlepoint, cross stitching? I believe that's what it's called. Something I haven't done in probably 30 years. This actually gave a really nice print. It was pretty cool. Very subtle, but very pretty. So those first two colors were light portrait pink and the unbleached titanium. Now I'm going in again with some bright aqua green. I'm off looking for a stencil that I want to use. I know I should have planned it beforehand, but I didn't. None of this was planned. I was just like going with the flow. This is a stencil by Joggles, and I absolutely love it. Let me go find out the name. It is called Droplets. And that's just a very basic pull there, and I don't do anything else with it. The point of that one was to remove the paint that was on the gel plate, like in the negative space, because I wanted what was in the positive. And I just added a bit more to that background we did with the cross-stitching canvas thing. So this is what I wanted left on the plate, but I don't want it like as much as there is there. So I'm taking a scrap piece of paper and I'm removing some of the paint. Like, I'm not laying it down and rubbing it like and really pulling it like I would if I was trying to pull the full print. I'm just trying to remove some of it. So I'm like, I don't want it to be a perfect pull. I just want it to be here, like little bits of it in the background. This is me dirtying up my gel plate. And where this is dry, you'll notice when I'm brayering on that portrait pink, if there's no paint there and I run over the gel plate, it removes the bright aqua green that's on there. So I'm actually removing a bit more of that stenciled and just adding little grunginess of the light portrait pink. Now it helps to achieve this grunginess because my portrait pink is really, there's not a lot left, and what is left is a bit clumpy. So it's behaving a bit differently than a good, what do you want to say, a healthy tube of paint would be. So I'm grabbing some orange. I'll have to look up exactly what color that is. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have bothered because I cannot pronounce this. Naphtol. I have no idea how that is supposed to be pronounced. So that word, red light, and it's an Amsterdam paint. All the rest I've been using is Liquitex. So now I'm getting to the part for my print for the February challenge. And the day that I'm doing is there must be a triangle somewhere on your page. So I'm using this Dilution stencil. It is called Angles. It's one of my favorites. And I'm taking some Dilution's ink spray in Pink Flamingo, and I'm spraying my stencil because I want that print on my gel plate. I don't want the negative space, I want the positive. And I don't want to go through the whole paint thing or grabbing another gel plate to put paint on it, so I thought I'll use spray. So I sprayed it, and now I'm placing it face down, like with the spray, on my gel plate. And I'm just dabbing it because ink spray will ooze out from under the stencil. So I'm just trying to get rid of that excess ink spray. And then I'm leaving the stencil on the gel plate, so there's ink spray underneath that stencil still. And I'm getting my file folder ready for when I'm ready to pull the print. Now I'm taking that orange, that red light, whatever word. I'm going to take a bit of that and the unbleached titanium, which actually creates a really nice color. I had a little bit too much paint, so I'm just spraying some off. And you still could have pulled the print, but I like a little less paint. So I'm pulling out the stencil, and then I am pulling the intended print, the whole point of this gel printing session. And voila! And that is the background. You can see some of that pink flamingo ink spray. It doesn't give you a perfect print like the ink spray part, but I mean, that's what I like. So now I'm just recapping all the prints that I pulled in this small gel printing session. I mean, this was less than 20 minutes, and we got, I don't know, 4 or 5 prints. 3 that I absolutely love. Now, the only problem is I don't want to cover it up. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye.